right, everybody, my name is Kevin, one half of your Real Movie Guys crew, and welcome back to another episode of the Solo Reel, a series where I go it alone reviewing and discussing your favorite movies and television. On today's episode, I'm going to be talking about Ready or Not. Ready or Not is a horror comedy that is a story of Grace, a bride who is finally marrying the man of her dreams and getting what she always wanted, a family. However, Grace finds out on her wedding night that in order to be admitted into the wealthy family, she has to draw a card at random, and whatever game it indicates, she has to play. She draws hide and seek, but little does Grace know, this game is deadly serious. And before we continue with the review, I just want to let everyone know that, as always, spoilers will follow in this review, so if it's not something you would like to avoid, I recommend pausing the video, checking out the movie, then coming back to hang out with me, or if you don't care, hey, it's good to have you here. So, Ready or Not actually took me by surprise. The thing that's different about Ready or Not from most horror comedies is that it has a completely original story, which is like the first positive thing I really want to talk about with this movie. It's simple yet creative. Like I said in the summary of the movie, Grace marries into this family, and all she has to do is play a game. If she plays the game, she's admitted into the family, and they'll love and care for her. Unfortunately, though, she draws the one card that no one ever seems to draw, and that is hide and go seek. The problem with hide and go seek is the family is going to hunt her down, and if they find her, they kill her. Again, really simple. Nothing too complicated here. I think it just works. It's a fun concept that they can play with, which also lends itself to the excellent horror comedy combo. What's happening to Grace is you're able to sympathize with her character for, this is supposed to be the most wonderful day of her life, and then on one hand, and then on the other hand, this is the worst day of her life. She's being hunted down, and by a family, she only at this point just met, and everything she ever wanted ends up being the one thing that's going to destroy her. Uh, well, what really drives this movie more so than the simple plot is the strong performances, especially by Samara Weaving, who plays Grace. She's an excellent actress. I mean, she nails all her cues. She's very likable straight on from the moment the film starts, right up until the horror starts happening. I won't say she makes some of the always the best decisions, and she does seem a little slow here and there on to what's happening. But that's to be expected. It is a stressful situation. They're going after her, but again, such a likable actress, and she actually adds a lot more depth to this than you would think. Most horror movies aren't really known for their acting. I am starting to see that as a bit of a change in maybe some of the more modern movies that we're getting. However, Samara as Grace, she lends something that's so strong, such a strong, likable performance, and not even corny. I would say, like, very very relatable, very believable. But not even her. Adam Brody, who's been in a ton of different things. He's really great. He plays the sarcastic older brother who's, he's been through this, this before. This is only the second time, I believe, that this has ever happened in the family. He was very young with Grace's husband when the first time it happened, the hide and seek. But again, he's just witty. He's an alcoholic. He doesn't necessarily. At first, he shows that he doesn't really care what's happening, but you start to see him slowly develop over his interactions with Grace, and by the end of the movie, he's trying to save her. And again, great evolution of his character. I feel like, again, you're just supposed to think he's just a drunk, and then it turns out there's definitely a couple more layers to him. But not even that. The whole family really works well together. Everyone's excellently casted. They're a believable, rich, snobby family. They play that off real well. They play off each other very well, all their interactions, especially the daughter of the family. She plays well off with everyone. She's just a psychotic drug addict. And then you also have her husband, the son-in-law, and you also have Adam Brody's wife in the movie, who's this cold-hearted woman, and she's ice cold, but she plays off like, wanting to hunt everyone down. Again, really really great, and they're fun characters, I have to say. I didn't find any of them annoying, or even that, especially the grandmother, who just creeps you out. She was great, absolutely great. Like I said, they really sell this movie to me. The simple plot, the simple plot works absolutely, but the cast is what's so strong. And again, I definitely enjoy it more than I thought I was going to. Another thing I would say is the set design. Most of this movie takes place throughout the mansion of the family. Um, it's just beautiful, from the the architecture that's in the house, from the color palette, where it's kind of like this bleak, dark, like washed out color. I really, really enjoyed it. It's very haunting, especially it's mostly candle lit throughout most of the house. Just very indicative of the situation. It kind of brings up that um, almost isolation, I want to say. It's hard to explain, but that's what I would compare it to. The only other setting is there's an outdoor farm that they go to, which is fine, nothing special with that. And then also, just the outside in general. But again, for the most part, it takes place in the house, and it's excellently designed. There's homages to what the family does. They have game boards everywhere that were, from what I could tell, they were actually specially crafted for this movie. Because what it does is the family made all their money in games, so they have all their trophies, if you would, products that they've made, placed throughout the house, and I think that was a fun little touch. Uh, I just think that was great. Like I said, the set design's really nice. Um, Another thing I would say is the ending. Again, I did talk about there are spoilers in this. The ending definitely subverts all your expectations, which I really did enjoy. In the beginning, you find out the family. They made it. The family, the original founding member of the family, he made a deal with someone that whatever, if he was able to open this box, he would be able he would have unlimited funding to his project, whatever he wanted to do, which was games. And he was able to open this box from a stranger. Ends up that stranger's the devil. And at the end, they have to sacrifice Grace in order to appease the devils, or so they think, by before sundown or sunrise. Once eventually, though, Grace is able to get away from them, and all the hijinks that ensue, and Grace is able to get away from them. They open the curtain, the sun rises. At first, nothing happens, so you think they've been kind of toying with the idea that the devil may or may not be real, that this pact may have just been, a crazy story, and the family's been following it this whole time. And then suddenly, boom, the first family member explodes, and they all explode after that into this fiery, bloody explosion. And again, it just subverted my expectations. I wasn't really sure what they were going to do. Honestly, I thought they might just kill Grace and keep the whole thing going. That's what I was honestly thinking. I didn't see them exploding. Again, totally subverted my expectations. The last positive I would say for this is the commentary this movie has on just in-laws and marrying into a family in general. I think it captures that in just a unique and funny way. Everyone has that thing where they meet a family, even if you're not marrying someone, you meet a family for the first time, or you don't feel accepted, and you feel like you have to include yourself somehow. This movie ironically captures that in the most excellent of ways. So if you're ever feeling like you're meeting a family for the first time, or meeting a group of people, this is a fun movie to watch, just to see just to see a different take on that, a comedic take. Again, I think that's great. It definitely addresses a lot of people's anxieties when meeting new people. That being said, there are some negatives to this film. There are three maids in the movie that are servants to the family. All three of them die. It's actually in the trailer, I believe. At least two of the deaths are in the trailer. They weren't they weren't necessary, in my opinion. They were kind of just done for that cheap laugh, maybe just to add to a body count to this movie. I wouldn't say it was awful. I mean, I did snicker a bit, so I guess it did accomplish its job, but it felt almost mean-spirited, just killing these innocent maids out of nowhere, especially when you're pretty much alluded to the fact that they don't know what's going on. They don't know about this family game that's being played. So just killing them off seemed a little unnecessary to me. If they were in on it, that would have been one thing, but just killing them off randomly, I didn't feel was necessary for this film. Another thing I would bring up is that the deaths overall for this film felt ununique. Nothing was really special. Of course, minus the ending where everyone explodes, but prior to that, no, nothing was really unique. I mean, the mother of the family, the head, the head woman of the family, she just gets her head smashed in with a box, so nothing special there. Again, nothing really special. No one dies, creatively, which is something I always like in a horror movie. I know this movie wasn't necessarily going for that, but again, it's something I like to see in my horror movies. Um, the other thing I would say is they do enforce the stereotype rich people bad, quote unquote. It's in there quite a lot in the movie, almost to the point of like rich people cannot be redeemed in any way, shape, or form. Again, I'm no means rich, but I'm not going to go out and say all rich people are bad and want to prey on everyone. That's the one commentary I would say that I didn't necessarily feel they needed in this movie. Again, you can touch on it, but I think that even overshadowed some of the, meeting the in-laws commentary I spoke about before is such a positive. Just all rich people are bad and terrible. Again, not a terrible thing. I just think it was a little overpowering at times. The main negative, though, I would have to get to this movie is that the third act to where, when we're reaching our climax and our ending is way too fast. The pacing up until that point, I think, is excellent. You have Grace Grace getting married, finding out about the game, then the family chasing her throughout the house. You have that pacing, and then suddenly I feel like out of nowhere she gets outside, and that's when the movie starts to go not downhill, but downhill pacing wise, I would say. She gets outside, they capture her real quick, they bring her right back in the house. She's up to be sacrificed, she escapes from that, and then they catch her again, and again it's just lightning quick, and again a little too fast for me. I would say I would have made the movie a little bit longer. That would have helped, and that you could have spaced that out a little bit, given us more time. Again, just a little too quick for my liking. But again, I won't say it doesn't hurt. It doesn't damage the movie necessarily. Just again, a little too fast. So with all that, what I would have to say is Ready or Not. My final score for Ready or Not is I'm going to give Ready or Not an A minus. Again, please, I would strongly recommend to definitely give this movie a watch. It's very unique. It's different from anything I've seen. Most of you have probably seen. I feel like it did fly under the radar a little bit. Not many people I know, at least, were talking about this movie. I think online it's getting a little more traction now that it's on, Blu-ray and digital release. I think you guys should check it out. If you want to see something unique, doesn't take itself too seriously, yet it'll appease the horror fan and the comedy fan alike. I think you guys should really check this out. Especially, it's nice to see again another strong female protagonist in a movie. Horror's been doing that great lately. A couple of the more recent movies I've watched have just been knocking that out of the park. So it's great to see that representation, and not even that, a simple, fun story that I think all of you are going to enjoy. So, like I said, I would like to thank all of you guys for joining me for this episode of the Solo Reel. You can follow me on Twitter at GasMaskDragon27 or through the main channel, The Real Movie Guy. Again, my name is Kevin. I am one half of your Real Movie Guys. We're real guys, real movies, real thoughts. I'll see you next time.